Hey y'all, I am Carolina Tony and I am coming to you from the frigid streets of Waco, Texas. If you, like myself, like to watch the TV show series Landman, you'll know that Tommy Norris, played by Billy Bob Thornton, loves to drink Dr. Pepper. And of course, we are here at the Dr. Pepper Museum in Waco, where Dr. Pepper was first concocted in the corner drugstore here back in 1885, and it's come a long way since then. We are going to explore the museum, learn a little bit about Dr. Pepper, and as I'm told, in the end, we will get to taste some Dr. Pepper. And we'll go ahead and get started right after this station identification.
Hello, my name is Dr. Charles Alt, but most folks just call me Doc. Welcome to the Old Corner Drugstore. Here comes my employee, Mr. Morrison. Good day, Mr. Morrison. How do you do?
I'm doing well, Doc. Looks like we have quite a crowd today.
We do. I'm glad you folks have made it to Waco. I'm originally from New York. People have been pouring into Texas since the Civil War, but it sure is easier to get here now. Back after the war, it would take 6 weeks by horse and wagon to get here from New York. I came back in 1880 through the port of Galveston. It took me a week by steamboat.
December the 1st, 1885 is when Dr. Pepper was first concocted at the Old Corner Drugstore in Waco, Texas. And here are some of the old Dr. Pepper bottles. This well was dug during this building's construction. It was used from 1906 until 1920. This is the original source of the water for Dr. Pepper that was bottled here. This well is 27.5 feet deep. After the drought of the 1920s, they began using public water. And of course, in those days, when you would finish a drink, you would return the bottle to the store for a deposit. In fact, I'll tell you, in 1968, I went to Boy Scout camp selling drink bottles. Got 2 or 3 cents a bottle on return. Well, anyway, when they would bring the bottles back to get the few cents that they would get for the deposit, the well was dry, and by that time, if they would inspect the bottle, if they were cracked or chipped, they were unusable, and they would throw them into the well. After excavation, this is kind of what they found. This cutaway of all these broken bottles.
Started 6 years ago. Several of the plant's men headed off to fight in the war. Mr. Doris's brother works at the Fort Worth plant, and they had quite a few men get called up and had about 7 or 8 women working there. I hear that most of them aren't there anymore. They've been hiring men back in and making the women leave. Billy Greaves and Shorty Powell got hired on when they got back from the war.
Here's the outside of the building that we're in. This was Artesian Manufacturing Bottling Company, and this is the original sign. This old machine. I actually remember using machines like this. Yeah, the bottles would be lined up here, and you'd slide them over, and after you put your money in, they'd come out right there. And there were lots of food and beverages. Is all about marketing, fancy packages and bottles, and this is some of the marketing of soft drink companies down through the years.
This is from the 20s and 30s.
Look from the 1960s.
You're in the 40s now.
Dr. Pepper Heart, Dr. Pepper Hot. And if you're going to advertise and you're going to sell soft drinks, you have to be able to do it worldwide.
These things here are what's called color standards. So the company, for instance, Dr. Pepper, they would approve these color standards, and this would be what the operator at the can plant would have to compare their cans that they're making to this color standard every 10 minutes. And these cans were running in machines about 1,900 cans per minute. So you can understand that if they didn't keep their eye on the prize and compare it to these color standards, they could make a lot of bad cans, and the customer could and would reject those.
Just for your information, Debbie was HR director at a can plant for over 20 years, so that lady knows her cans. Here's Dr. Pepper and 7-Up from Israel. Here are Dr. Pepper cans, and I believe that's Salute, maybe Sprite, from Eastern Asia. This old delivery truck, we are on the second floor, and there are stairs to get up here. It was taken apart piece by piece and brought up to the second floor and reassembled. And here's a photograph of them bringing this car piece by piece up the stairs.
Sold a lot of Dr. Pepper using what I call personal touch sampling. Now that means that I go out and I get people to try the drink. I particularly like to work community events. I look for picnics, town meetings, mostly family activities, and then I personally go out and serve the Dr. Pepper.
Here is the secret chamber. Let's see what we find in here. Dr. Pepper bookmarks. Try hot Dr. Pepper. And these empty bottles coming down the line, going around. They've already been washed. They're filled and they're capped. Anyway, they go up into the line, they're put in the rows and dropped into the pallet. This is some of the syrup equipment, of course, with most soft drinks begins as a syrup, and then they add the water. In this case, it was the sparkling well water to make Dr. Pepper. Here's some of the advertising from the 1905 through 1915, and then 1915 to 25. And of course, all this seems foreign to us now. We get a little closer, we can kind of figure out Dr. Pepper. Look, I don't know what 10, 2, and 4 mean. Thousands of people pass through the Dr. Pepper Museum every day, but unless you stop and read, and it is almost impossible to read everything that's in here, but this is pretty interesting. This hardwood flooring in the syrup room was on a slope, and it kind of goes this way. And when they're mixing, of course, you know, what things get on the floor, but it was sloped, and there's a gutter system. If you look right over here against the wall, and here's the gutter system. So this syrup would be washed to the edge of the floor, and it could be easily cleaned that way. And here we are. They are concocting a Dr. Pepper for us.
Whenever you're done with that drink, show.
Well, that is going to do it for our trip to Waco, Texas, and the Dr. Pepper Museum. Have our Dr. Pepper that is included in part of the tour. And we learned a lot here. Learned that a lot of people came here in the late 1800s, early 1900s for the water that would make you not crazy.
I need a lot of that then.
Yeah, can't get it anymore. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give us a big old thumbs up. And if you hadn't subscribed yet, please do so. Help us fuel for the road. Again, thank you for watching. And for now,
Y'all have a good day.
yeah.